All right, I got the engine running on the 216. Now it's time to tackle the rear end. This has got 2300 transaxle in here. So I'm gonna have to take the tire off on the left side of the machine so I can get that pulley and belt off. Then I can start undoing the bolts that hold the transaxle in place, disconnect the brake linkage. So I'm gonna get to that. All right, now I got the wheel off. All these, there's 3 bolts on here on this pulley. You gotta turn it in order to get all 3 of them. I've already cracked them loose, so now I can just pull them off and get the belt off of here. All right, now I got that pulley off. There's the belt. This one here, that is for your clutch, your tensioner for your clutch. Got a heavy duty spring on it. You have to lift that up in order to get that other pulley out of the way. So, of course, I don't know if you can see it very good on the video, but my transaxle has a piece right here, piece of the frame. It's the same on each side. It's like a U channel that is welded to the frame. There's bolts inside there that holds my axle to the frame, which means I gotta take off the gas tank, which means I gotta take off the deck. This became a lot bigger job. All right, taking off the brake pedal and the clutch pedal is the same. You undo the 2 bolts and you just slide the whole pedal straight outwards. You also have to take out the bolts, hold your fender on. 2 up there, 2 down there. All right, next, before we get the deck off, we have to take the knobs off. The shifter knob is easy. You just twist that one off. Comes off easy enough. Now this one here has got a jam nut on there. So I take the vice grips, I hold the shaft with the vice grips. I loosen the jam nut, and then I can turn that off. There we go. Pop my vice grips. Now my whole back fender assembly should be ready to come out. Alright, I'm trying to lift my deck off. Found somebody put an aftermarket screw in here. It's sticking out too far. I gotta cut that thing off so I can get the deck off of here. Everything else is coming apart, but it's binding on that one screw, so I gotta cut that off. All right, the struggle is real. I got it off. Forgot to mention you have to disconnect your switch at the bottom of the seat for your safety switch. Now I gotta get the gas tank out of here so I can reach down underneath there in order to undo the transaxle. Fun is beginning. Alright, as far as the gas tank coming out, it just lifts straight up. Once you got it up and high enough, turn your fuel valve off and take off your fuel line. There will be gas coming out of this because you'll have gas in your line, so you might want to have a pair of vice grips to clamp that off. Alright, now I got the gas tank out of the way. I can see something. Looking at my shifter, like this moves really freely, so I'm thinking there's something to come apart and my shifter forks inside the transmission. Down here I can feel it trying to shift, but this one here is nothing. So I'm thinking the shifter fork might be off of the arm inside there, or off of the gear I mean. So I'll find out in a couple minutes. It might be a broken shifter linkage. I'll see when I get into it. But before I get that far, I have to disconnect the brakes so I can get the transmission out. Alright, for disconnecting the brakes, it's pretty simple. There's a pin that goes right through there, through the hole in the frame. You just pull off the cotter key, or the cotter pin I should say, you pull it out. Now your brake is disconnected. Rear end is free. All I gotta do is undo the 4 bolts and the rear end can come out now finally. Almost forgot to show you. There's a spring here for your clutch Just give it a pull. That disconnects. Now we just gotta undo those two, and there's two more on the other end there. Then I can pull it out. Okay, you're gonna want to support the frame of the tractor on both sides and the transaxle with the jack, so you can lower the transaxle down before you undo those 4 bolts. Alright, after fighting for quite some time trying to get these bolts out, that one is very difficult to reach. You gotta get in there with a wrench from the outside. I found I have one more dead center at the top. I gotta undo that. Now I can drop it out. Alright, now I got the axle out. You can do a little inspection, and upon inspection I need to replace the brakes. They are totally gone. Like, there's nothing left there. So when I take that apart, putting it back together, I have to put on new brakes. Everything else so far looks okay. Alright, clutch pulley has to come off. So I have to get this off. Clutch pulley comes off. Just loosen this off, take off the clutch pulley. This one here is threaded, or like great big wrench that goes on here. So let's see what we can do. Alright, next step, I gotta take the brake assembly off of here. One bolt here, one bolt there. One last step before I can take this thing apart for to work on the insides. I gotta drain the oil on it. Once I drain the oil, I'm gonna pressure wash it, and then I'll start another video with me rebuilding it. Important side note, when you're putting your plugs back in after draining your oil, ensure your drain plug goes in the drain hole and your vent plug goes in the vent hole. The drain plug actually has a magnet on it to catch any kind of metal shavings that are in the transmission.